I have been a lifelong WWE fan. And we all know that every Monday night, come Raw, there's always something to complain about. And if you are one of those people that doesn't find anything wrong with the show, then to me, you aren't a human being. Or a normal one, at least. Last night on Monday Night Raw, I'm not going to be one of those guys that says, I'm going to cancel my network subscription. I'm not going to watch WWE anymore. I'm not going to support what they do. I'm going to just blacklist myself from everything WWE. I'm not going to be one of those people. There's a lot of people that say that they're going to do all of that, and then they don't end up doing that at all. There's a very small percentage of the population that is in and around WWE, that enjoys WWE, that's going to actually go ahead and do that. And if you do that, I feel like you are missing out on more positive than you are negative. NXT, for example, TakeOver is fantastic. Every major WWE pay-per-view weekend. We got the Mae Young Classic. NXT UK is coming. Plus, it's self-explanatory, all of the classic WWE content, the pay-per-views, the documentaries, all that stuff, $9.99 is an absolute steal. The WWE Network is something that has a little bit of something for everybody. But with Monday Night Raw last night, I honestly feel myself caring less and less and less about what the main roster does. And I'm not going to sit here and spin a narrative and tell you how positive it could be or how something is very good or what WWE is doing is very good. There is 98% negative when it comes to these shows and barely anything positive. The only positive thing from Monday Night Raw last night consisted of two 50-year-old men that gave me, in my honest opinion, the greatest professional wrestling match of all time at WrestleMania 25. A segment that consisted of two men, one who's been retired since WrestleMania 26, and then The Undertaker, who's 53 years old, who can barely walk. And the build for what is going to be a match that we've seen God knows how many times already. The best segment on the show was a segment with two 50-year-old fucking aging, decrepit, broken down bodies. What does that tell you about the current direction of WWE programming? That there is none. I cared about what Shawn Michaels said more than any other words spoken on that entire show last night. In fact, I would pay my money now to see Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Fuck a Triple H versus The Undertaker. After what we seen last night, my money would be for Shawn Michaels to come out of retirement and try and give me what they gave me at WrestleMania 25. If that doesn't tell you what's wrong with WWE programming, nowadays, I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell you what that does mean. Every single person on that roster is absolutely unimportant. From the top all the way down. There's not one segment on that show that came close to what The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels did last night. I felt like I was watching something back in the fucking 90s. I felt like a little kid again, man. I could not turn myself away from the fucking screen. Meanwhile, anything else comes on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman and this fucking bullshit, I couldn't give a single fuck. You want the whole basis of Monday Night Raw last night? The entire show. The entire show was a complete waste of time. And you had two 50-year-old guys go out there and steal the fucking Monday night show that was from Columbus, Ohio. Simple as that. Everything else, to me, is completely unimportant. This Braun Strowman Roman Reigns situation, man, I don't know what you guys want me to say. I really don't know what you want me to add on top of what I already told you. The narrative is in place. Braun Strowman came out to cheers. You didn't think I seen that, though, right? Braun Strowman came out to a babyface, well, somewhat of a babyface reaction, more babyface than heel. He came out to a babyface reaction last night, and then the narrative, quick and subtle. He's shitting on the crowd. We're seeing bullshit from last week. He's going over highlight packages. They're trying to just reaffirm to you what happened the night before, or the week before, rather. You know? Like, I didn't remember what happened last week. Everybody's been fucking talking about it for a fucking goddamn week. Nobody wanted it, but we got it. People picking it apart. People that I know that are cocksuckers to the WWE machine even hated that shit. And WWE had to just reassure you that Braun Strowman was definitely a heel. And when Braun Strowman picks up the microphone and says Roman, you know, and the Shield, that he's got his buddies building a protective shield around Roman. Well, you think that's something that was just conveniently put in the script? It's what everybody's been saying. It's as if WWE is trolling you. Because that's exactly what it is. The entire opening segment to Monday Night Raw was a complete, overdone, just chaotic mess. To try and do what? It's like WWE's trying to one-up themselves every single week. We know that you want Roman to be cheered. We know that Roman is the top guy. He's the big dog in WWE. We don't need it jammed down our throats anymore. He's won the title. He beat Brock Lesnar. He's going into Hell in a Cell with Braun Strowman. He's got his Shield buddies again who are playing fucking second and third fiddle to this fucking clown. We don't need any more confirmation about what you want to do. Just fucking go about your business. And then WWE is trying to give you something and make it like this epic fucking battle. All this grandeur. Yeah, Braun Strowman standing behind Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's fucking great. Dolph Ziggler looks completely out of place standing next to those guys, but that's neither here or there. But the simple fact that they brought these guys, the Shield, together again to feud with Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. What does that say about WWE's creative direction? They don't give a shit if it's good or if it's bad. They want one thing and one thing only. They don't want any negative reaction for Roman Reigns. And they took that a step further on Monday Night Raw. They arrested all three guys in Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. I think the explanation was that they incited a riot. And that's the reason why that they were thrown into the back of a police vehicle and handcuffed and taken away. And then they were fingerprinted, they were ID'd, they had mugshots taken. WWE went all the way with something that should have never been. You do realize that they are treating you like a fucking imbecile. Braun Strowman committed how many acts of murder on WWE television? Was he ever arrested? Was he ever fingerprinted? Was he ever taken to the police station to get ID'd and mugshot? I mean, for the love of God, he fucking flipped an ambulance over with Roman Reigns in it. He threw Roman Reigns off a fucking loading dock while he was strapped to a stretcher. I never seen Braun Strowman fucking taken away in handcuffs. But here we are with the Shield. And they're making their entrance down like they've done for 5 fucking years. And they get into a 3-on-3 battle. And then Baron Corbin has every single Monday Night Raw roster member out there to try and break up the fight, which they fed the entire roster to Monday Night Raw, of Monday Night Raw to the Shield last night. When I see guys like Finn Balor and everybody else Kevin Owens, I don't know if Kevin Owens was there, But the Authors of Pain, the Revival. Do you know how you're burying your fucking roster? Like, I know Finn Balor is fucking irrelevant on WWE television nowadays, but to some, he's still a major name. When you got Finn Balor coming out there trying to break up a fucking brawl with these 6 guys, and he gets tossed around within seconds and is shoved to the side as if he's fucking nothing, what does that tell you about what WWE thinks of not only Finn Balor, but their entire roster? They fed the entire fucking roster this week to the Shield to try and get over a narrative, to try and get over an initiative that we already know. Now they're just making things worse. And I don't know how anybody watching this show can understand and accept what WWE's doing. Everything that they are doing is fucking wrong and driving viewers away at record numbers. I was at All In on Saturday night. I gotta come back and watch this fucking garbage. At least there I had fun. At least there my intelligence wasn't insulted. Here on Monday night, the Shield is getting arrested for enticing riots. Were they ever arrested before? They made the same fucking entrance for 5 years now. They were never arrested once from coming into the arena and brawling with somebody at ringside. If you don't understand that WWE is treating like a fucking idiot, a puppet, there's no saving you. There's no saving you. And I still don't know why Braun Strowman is a heel. I don't know why the Shield is brought back together to battle Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. There was no other combination of guys on this roster that you could put together to actually make the Shield reunion special. There's nothing that they're doing is special with Roman Reigns right now. It's all rinse and repeat. It's all a band-aid to make you feel some sort of fucking sympathy for this fucking idiot. Oh, he was arrested. Oh, he was arrested for unwarranted reasons. For no reason at all. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are there as a shield because you're going to feel sympathy for those guys while you hate Roman, but WWE is forcing you to have sympathy for Roman because he's standing next to those guys. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. This is why my podcast is better than yours. Because you ain't talking about this shit. The one thing I hate is being treated like a fucking idiot. And that's not the only thing on this show I'm going to complain about, man. WWE, it's as if they have, it's like they have a fucking speck of dust for a fucking brain between 32 creative writers. I don't know who writes this show and says, yeah, let's put this on USA Network at 8 o'clock and go to 11:10. You out of your fucking mind? This is their vision of professional wrestling. You have the greatest roster in the company's history assembled between both fucking brands, and this is what you're giving me. Wait till I get to the middle of the fucking show. Start at the top here. Braun Strowman takes the microphone. We see video packages as if we want to relive the fucking stupidity that was last week. We see video packages. He's showing us the destruction that was caused. All Braun Strowman was doing was just reassuring to us how much of a fucking idiot he is. Because he gave the briefcase to Baron Corbin, and he laid out all 3 members of the Shield. Well, if he held on to the briefcase for another 2 hours, we'd be having Braun Strowman standing in the middle of the ring as the Universal Champion. Meanwhile, he's over there in the ring making threats that Roman is holding something that belongs to him. You could have had it, you fucking idiot. You could have had the title if you didn't give it to Corbin. No, you want to do babyface-like things and be honorable in the beginning of the show, and then you want to do heel-like things at the end of the show. Meanwhile, the one thing that you did as a babyface now is biting you in the ass. I don't give a shit if Braun Strowman wants to be an honorable guy or a monster and do things the right way. That means to me that he's being miscast. And it's not even being miscast. That's just a lack of IQ. Because I know for a fact if my intention was to fucking beat down the Shield in a tag team match at the end of the night, if my idea was to betray my partner and just allow him to get his ass kicked, why would you give up the briefcase? Now, but I think too much, right? I sit here and analyze a little bit too much. I'm negative. Would you do that? Just put yourself in Braun Strowman. That's all I can say. Put yourself in Braun Strowman's shoes. Would you do the same thing, step by step, that this guy did on Monday Night last week? Guarantee you, 100% of you would say no. Braun Strowman's in the ring. Ziggler, Braun, and McIntyre. They are talking about the Shield last week. Now, all Roman Reigns had to do was take his beating, but he runs in a pack, says Strowman. He don't run in a pack. WWE gave him a fucking shield. He ain't running with them. They're just there as bodyguards for the most part. Braun says Reigns knows about what the Shield is. And without the Shield, the WWE Universal title belongs to him. Braun says Reigns knows. And things are going to be a little bit different. And he doesn't give a damn. That's the key line there. He doesn't give a damn what anybody in the arena has to say, like it or not. So, you know, there's no in between. There's no gray areas. Braun Strowman's a heel, and WWE has done the, I would say, one of the most stupid things of the entire year by turning Braun Strowman heel. Now, Braun says he will have his own pack. You know, here we go. We're going to have these words thrown down our throats now. Roman and his pack. Braun has got his own pack. Like a pack of wolves, right? This is WWE trying to get across their narrative and just beat it into your head. He's got a pack of his own now. He's going to show Reigns that this is his yard. Braun says that Hell in a Cell is going to dismantle Reigns, break his spirit, break his back, and take what is rightfully his. I think at this point, people, Roman's back breaking literally at Hell in a Cell is the only way that any of this would stop. Drew McIntyre takes the microphone and wants everyone to take a moment and look at the collection of talent in the ring. Drew says the Shield has had their time, but now it's over. Drew says we're looking at the new kings of the jungle around here, and they're going to feast on the Shield's bloody carcasses. Ziggler then takes the microphone and says they will be the most dominant force in WWE history. More dominant, and this is where WWE was throwing it back to the fucking fans. They do things on social media to pretty much get a reaction and a rise out of everybody. WWE posted on Instagram the top 10 factions that they think are in WWE history. The Shield was above the Four Horsemen, the NWO, and D-Generation X. On what planet would any wrestling with any wrestling fan with any type of knowledge would put the Shield above those three factions? You would have to be out of your fucking mind drugged to think that you're going to put the Shield above the Four Horsemen. I don't understand that. So, people were complaining on this list, or about this list, that the Nation of Domination wasn't on there. I mean, I'd take the Nation of Domination over the Shield. Definitely. But Ziggler says that they will be more dominant than the Nation of Domination. Funny how they weren't even mentioned in the list. Now they're being mentioned here. DX and the Shield. I don't know if Ziggler's on the same type of drugs that these people are on, but I don't ever see that happening, and not even close. Ziggler says the Shield started this, but they are going to end it. So then we see the Shield come through the crowd. Reigns, Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. I want to make something perfectly clear here. Do you realize that Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion? So another thing that's not going to be discussed by anybody else because they're a bunch of fucking cocksuckers. Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion. By all means, Seth Rollins did a magnificent job building up the Intercontinental Championship. And with one fell swoop, WWE killed the Intercontinental Championship once again. It is now being hidden behind the Roman Reigns agenda. So if that was the case, why don't you put the Intercontinental Championship on somebody else and continue building the legacy of that championship? Now all it's doing is sitting idle, and it's not doing anything but collecting dust, because Roman Reigns is more important than literally everything on this fucking program. Now, but you don't see that though, right? You don't see that when you're watching the show. I do. That's why you come here and watch me. Bullshit. And the Intercontinental Championship actually took another step back with what happened later on in the show. The Shield come to the ring, then Baron Corbin appears on stage, and he brings out a bunch of WWE superstars on Raw. The Shield surrounds the ring as Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre are looking on from inside the ring. Corbin brings out more superstars. Everybody is brawling at ringside. They're trying to hold the team of Braun back, and they're trying to hold the Shield back, and Rollins is trying to break free. Roman Reigns is trying to break free. They eventually break free. Rollins breaks free. He runs to the back. Chaos. Just a collective mess of garbage. They fed the entire roster to this opening segment that accomplished nothing. And what did I tell you the last time when you got big brawls like this happening? People love chaos. People want to see chaos. They're not going to boo chaos. If you're a fucking simpleton, you're going to enjoy what you seen on Monday Night Raw last night. You may not know what they're trying to do, but I know what's going on. So clearly you're going to cheer on the Shield and you're going to get excited about what's going on. It's cheap heat. Everything they did last night was cheap fucking heat. The big brawl, the arrest of the Shield, bringing them down to the station, and having fucking Mike Rome give you updates throughout the show on his social media, fingerprints, mugshots, this and that. Cheap fucking heat. Cheap sympathy heat. Now, but you are going to sit there like, Raw was great. The fuck are you watching? Anyway, moving on here. That was the opening segment. They get hauled away in a fucking police car. Poor Shield. The Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad. My fucking goodness, man. Jesus Christ. The best thing about the Bellas is Nikki Bella's entrance. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about what they got going on in the ring. Riot Squad. I love how Corey Graves plays it on commentary. Now, and listen, you know, whatever Corey Graves said on Monday Night Raw is what a color commentator is supposed to do, to paint a picture. I get it. I do it myself. But when I'm watching from the outside looking in, I can't help but snicker and laugh at the fucking sheer stupidity that the guy says. He's like, well, I have to give this one to the Riot Squad because they've been incredibly successful on Monday Night Raw on a weekly basis. The Bellas might have some ring rust. The Riot Squad has been incredibly successful on Monday Night Raw. They're nothing but 2/3 of a wasted stable. And I love how WWE is trying to portray Sarah Logan now from Hicksville to now Viking. She's got the war paint like War Raiders, because she's married to one of them. I think she's married to, I forgot who she's married to. I don't know if it's Hanson or Rowe. I don't remember. But they're trying to portray her now. They're trying to sweep the old gimmick under the rug, and they're trying to just give you the narrative, oh, she's got Viking blood running through her veins. I don't give a fuck what type of blood she has running through her veins. I wish she had the fucking I Can Wrestle blood running through her veins, because they are fucking garbage. And maybe she should have a blood fucking transplant with two of the Bellas, because they can't fucking wrestle at all. Bella Twins here against the Riot Squad. What do you think was the outcome? What do you think the outcome was? Favorite spot of the fucking night in this match was Brie Bella trying to do a suicide dive, and I don't know if Sarah Logan was completely out of place or if Brie Bella is just that fucking bad. My God, did that look terrible. It's like she was treating herself like a piece of laundry, trying to hang herself out to dry. Give me some fucking clothespins. Let me hang Brie Bella, soaking wet out to dry in the fucking hot summer heat. The fuck was that? And then they have the balls to go to Ronda Rousey later in the show, saying, well, if you need any wrestling tips, please come on over to the Bella camp. We'll be happy to train you and teach you. Yeah, I'm gonna learn something from a fucking imbecile who can't even do a suicide dive correctly. Ronda Rousey's looking at that and be like, honey, I'm fine. I could get all the schooling I need from WWE 2K19. I think that would be better off for me than watching you in a ring. Legit. Fuck out of here, man. Bella Twins win. My God. I hope to God that they're not setting up Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. And the WWE has the collective brain of a fucking ant. And they're booking this same match that we seen tonight at the Super Show in Australia on October 6th. So I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to review this shit for you people, and I have to watch the same fucking match there at 5 o'clock in the morning when I didn't even want to see it at 8:30 on a Monday night. The Bellas versus the Riot Squad. Oh, what's this? Ronda Rousey's involved. I swear on everything that is fucking holy, if the Bella Twins turn on Ronda Rousey at that show and we get Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, please hand me a noose, hand me some bleach, and I'll go to work. Okay? God awful. If that's WWE's vision of evolution or a women's revolution, they are sadly mistaken. All you gotta do is go watch All In with that great Fatal 4-Way with Chelsea Green, Tessa Blanchard, Britt Baker, and Madison Rayne. That's what I want from women's wrestling. Not these fucking reality stars trying to be wrestlers. And then Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, listen, I'm a fan of Ronda. But putting the title on her means nothing for the Revolution. They're using her name alone. The Revolution was built on Sasha and Bayley and what they did at TakeOver. It was built on wrestling. What are we getting now with the Revolution? We're getting the biggest female star in the world versus a reality TV star. Sasha Banks and Bayley and all their work completely flushed down the toilet. Bella Twins win. Who the fuck cares? Rack Attack 2.0. Moving on here. Baron Corbin is backstage on the phone with Stephanie McMahon because, there was a chaotic riot at ringside. Corbin says the Shield has been arrested, the Bellas are back on Raw, and Raw is on track. Corbin hangs up and thanks Stephanie. Finn Balor appears, standing there, smiling like a fucking dumbass. Why is this guy he's not even looking at Balor, he's looking off into the distance. Smiling. What is he smiling at? Did they bring the Shamrock Shake back from McDonald's? What the fuck is he smiling about? You're a loser! You've done nothing on this show. What are you smiling about? You're on Raw. The fuck is there to smile about? Maybe you were smiling because all your buddies put on the biggest independent show in the world on Saturday night, and you wish you were there. But there's nothing to smile about where you're standing. Smiley Finn, the man who can't seem to find his fucking gonads, wants a match with Baron Corbin, the man. Thank you for really, doing that and saying that. Finn Balor, the man. Now, what is he? Finn Balor, the eggplant? Finn Balor, the fucking chocolate milkshake? What is he? Finn Balor. Smiley Finn. The guy who lives in fucking Lego houses, toy houses, Fisher-Price houses, with his easy-bake fucking oven. Finn Balor wants a match with Baron Corbin, and he wants to find out who the better man really is. Corbin says Balor talks a good game for a little guy, and he will shut him up tonight. Finn Balor then comes back and says, "Whoa, you must really be compensating for something there, Baron Corbin." I don't know what the fuck that meant, but I guess you guys can use your own imagination. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Chad Gable. Oh my God, Chad Gable lives. Chad Gable is employed and alive. And then the unglorious Bobby Roode, she asks, out of nowhere, we didn't hear any tease, there was no news reported on this. She asks what led to this new partnership. What led to this new partnership? They were sitting across from each other at catering, and they enjoyed the chocolate mousse. They were talking about how light and airy it was, and how Titus needs to add some more chocolate next time. That's what brought the partnership together. Baron Corbin is running a shit show on Monday Night Raw. That's the vibe I get from this fucking show. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. That's your new tag team. You have nothing to do with Bobby Roode, so you pair him with Chad fucking Gable. In fact, you're looking at this team, and you're actually thinking, wow, they're fucking Gable over with this team. Seems like Bobby Roode actually lucked into a fucking program. Bobby Roode is a former NXT champion. And Chad Gable goes on to say that he keeps a close eye on everything that goes on around here. And lately he's been captivated by how Bobby Roode carries himself in the spotlight. What spotlight? The guy hasn't been in the spotlight since his last night on NXT. The guy hasn't been in the spotlight since he was the NXT heavyweight champion and he was becoming the best heel in all of WWE. What spotlight? The guy's been in fucking darkness for the last year and a half. Yet they want me to believe with this narrative that Bobby Roode is some type of superstar. The guy is garbage. They ruined a great thing because they don't know how to run a wrestling company. The guy is miscast and he's portrayed in the worst possible way. And this is WWE's grand idea to actually make this guy relevant and give this guy something to do. They're putting him with Chad Gable. Just look at the tag team division on Monday Night Raw. Now you can add Bobby Roode and Chad Gable to the long list of garbage teams that are on this show. They went against the Ascension. And Bobby Roode and Chad Gable beat the Ascension. But on their way to beating the Ascension, the WWE commentators were talking about how the Ascension was just one win away. That they're always on the cusp of greatness, is what Michael Cole said, word for word. The Ascension is on the cusp of greatness. Are they fucking for real? What does that mean to me? The cusp of greatness. This is the second time that I've seen them on this show in a tag team match in a year and a half. What cusp of greatness is the Ascension on their way to? I don't understand it. They must be damn good dishwashers and catering if they're on their way to fucking greatness. I don't believe the shit that I have to fucking listen to every Monday night. It's as if this show makes me more fucking stupid. Unbelievable. Gable and Bobby Roode win this match. Gable goes up top for some drop kicks on Victor. Gable keeps control, hits the bridging German suplex on Victor for the win. Bobby Roode had absolutely no factor in this. He looked like a fucking kid lost in a candy store. He's on the apron. He's shocked that Chad Gable wins. And now he's going to be riding the coattails of Chad Gable. The only redeeming quality I see out of this partnership is this. If Chad Gable gets over enough with the audience, this would be a perfect opportunity to turn Bobby Roode heel. Will they do it? Probably not. Because I don't see this team lasting. This team is like fucking Steve Urkel and Stefan Urkel. Different. From Family Matters. Absolutely a waste of everybody's time. Elias is in the ring. He introduces himself. I actually laughed about what he had to say about Columbus, Ohio, and Christopher Columbus. Why would he be named after this shit town? Gotta love Elias. But the guy doesn't wrestle anymore. Elias has to get back in the ring and start winning championship gold. This fucking shtick with his guitar is not going to maintain its momentum. It's already dying off. It's the same shit every fucking week. You know? If WWE wanted to put Elias out there, he could be the modern day honky tonk man. Why are we not seeing him compete for IC championship gold? Why? He does the same thing every week, and it's just a different town. And it's the same fucking chords, you know, in every fucking city that he strums on the guitar. I don't get it. So he's there, and he sings about Trish Stratus last week because she slapped him in the face. He goes on about Trish and says how she just embarrassed herself last week. Elias goes on and starts taking shots at Columbus and then Ohio State. The music interrupts, but it's not anybody that has a problem with Elias. It's actually Alexa Bliss with Mickie James and Alicia Fox. So Alexa Bliss was, explaining how she went to school and she grew up in Columbus, Ohio, how she graduated high school in the very same arena that Monday Night Raw was taking place from last night. She goes on to say that everything Elias said about her hometown is absolutely 100% true. And she couldn't wait to get out of this dump as fast as she could. She goes on and mentions her match tonight with Natalya, the Evolution match with Trish, and the Hell in a Cell match with Ronda Rousey. Well, Alexa Bliss is pretty fucking busy nowadays. Where's Sasha Banks, I ask? I don't fucking know. Where's Ember Moon, I ask you? I don't fucking know. Better question, where the fuck is Asuka? Where the fuck is Asuka? I'll tell you what Asuka is. She's gonna end up as fucking evidence on the next episode of Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans. Disappeared. Never to be found again. Bliss. Now this is a dose of truth here, people. Another thing you won't hear on these fucking loser podcasts that you listen to. Alexa Bliss takes the microphone and she's holding the microphone in a very sensual way, right? So she goes up to Elias and says, "Oh well, Elias, can you play that song for me again? Because, I want to walk with Elias." You know, she did that fucking that sensual flirtatious fucking thing with Elias. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, Elias is looking at her up and down, right? And he's eyeing Alexa Bliss. But I'm thinking, well, look, you want to know why Alexa Bliss is so popular on Monday Night Raw? That's what she does to every one of the creative writers in the meetings before the fucking show airs on the USA Network. All she has to do is go up and flaunt her ass. And boom! She's got Ronda Rousey, she's got a match with Natalya, she's got Evolution with Trish. That's all she has to do. The same thing she did to Elias is the same thing she does to all WWE management to get where she is. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So there's a dose of reality, there's a dose of truth in the mannerisms and the way Alexa Bliss was speaking to Elias, flirting with Elias. So if you don't think that's true, people, you better get with the fucking program. Natalya versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss wins this match. Apparently, the narrative here is that Alexa Bliss is taking MMA training. That she's been training for weeks with MMA artists. And she's learning that style of fighting to combat Ronda Rousey. I haven't heard a fucking joke like that since, I don't know, since last week's Monday Night Raw when WWE thinks Roman is still over with the crowd. Ronda Rousey is going to be afraid of Alexa Bliss's MMA training. So they had Alexa Bliss go out there and tap out Natalya with a fucking armbar. And Natalya is screaming, and the screams were worse than any of her fucking 16 cats. It was ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm watching Alexa Bliss work in the ring. Natalya is under fucking rated. Alexa Bliss didn't do one wrestling move in that entire match. Not one. The only move she did was the armbar. You know, I'm supposed to believe that this woman has any offensive threat to Ronda Rousey. Give me a fucking break. After the match, Bliss keeps the hold applied. Rousey enters the ring. Bliss tries to come back, and Ronda Rousey tries to catch her. Alicia Fox, I don't know why the fuck she's out there. I mean, she's nothing but a fucking ragdoll to Ronda Rousey. We've seen it already. These judo throws by Ronda on Fox, they don't mean anything to me anymore. We've seen it for 4 weeks in a row now. And why is Alicia Fox there? She's fucking irrelevant. The new paper plates and catering on Titus's fucking table are more relevant than Alicia Fox. And Mickie James don't do shit. 6 years. Or 6-time women's champion. Mickie James. Is she going to have a major spot on Evolution? Probably not. Probably be a fucking puppet to Alexa Bliss. So Bliss tries to take out Ronda's knee from behind with a chop block. And she sends Bliss out of the ring. Rousey checks on Natalya while Bliss, Fox, and James back up in a cowardly fashion to the back. So that was that. Baron Corbin is backstage yelling at some fucking idiot backstage. He wanted his Rolex cleaned. I was watching the show last night. I'm like, oh, it's either an Invicta, cheap $99 fucking Rolex look-alike watch, or it's actually a Rolex Submariner two-tone with a blue dial. And that's exactly what it was, because he wanted this fucking goon to go clean his Rolex. Now, that's a $14,000, $15,000 watch. I'm not going to give my fucking Rolex Submariner two-tone with a blue dial to some fucking irrelevant goon to go get it cleaned. You know, that's a lot of fucking money. Baron Corbin, he ain't doing too bad for himself if he can afford a fucking Rolex Submariner, I'll tell you that. Monday Night Raw, Stephanie McMahon must be treating him very well if he's wearing Rolexes to fucking work. So he's backstage. Ziggler and McIntyre and Strowman come walking in. So Ziggler wants competition. Strowman wants competition. McIntyre wants competition. So Braun Strowman says, you better find me competition tonight. Better do your job tonight. Ziggler wants the Revival. They want to take, no, not the Revival. They want the B team. They want the B team for the tag team titles. So I can invoke my rematch clause, says Ziggler. I want the tag team titles with this guy here. Baron Corbin goes on to say, well, guys, listen, the Revival are positioned for a tag team title shot tonight. If it was any other week, I'd make it happen right now. Can't do it. Unless the Revival are unable to compete. So that's what that was. So, you know, you piece the puzzle together. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre look at each other in a very, very sly way. Okay. So what do you think the next phase was? What do you think the next plan of action was? Find the Revival backstage and beat the shit out of it. That's exactly what they did. They were being interviewed about their upcoming match with the fucking B team, the F team. I wish these guys would fucking go away. You know, maybe they should go fucking cheer for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Get them the fuck off this show. They are legit garbage. So, we got McIntyre and Ziggler finding the Revival. They barely get 3 words out of their mouth, and they're getting beat up backstage in the interview area. And McIntyre throws Dash Wilder so fucking hard into some fucking crates that I legit thought he fucking killed the guy. Unbelievable. Steel beams going all over the place. McIntyre picks up one of the beams and throws it at the fucking interview stage. They just laid these guys to waste. Now, if I'm the Revival, and I'm watching All In, right? And I'm thinking, wow. Look at these guys, man. In front of almost 11,000 people at the Sears Center. Here we are on Monday Night Raw. Guaranteed a tag team title shot. And we still can't get a tag team title shot. And WWE fucks us over. If I'm the Revival and I see my contract coming to an end with the WWE, I'm telling them this, and I'm going to the Indies. Because the Indies with the Revival, oh my goodness, man, the matches that we could see. The Revival versus SoCal Uncensored, the Revival versus the Briscoes, the Revival versus the Young Bucks, the Revival versus pretty much anybody, any combination of 2 fucking guys on the Indies. The Revival versus Pentagon and fucking Phoenix. Holy shit. I mean, you got the Revival versus Omega and Ibushi. Yet here on Monday Night Raw, they have a guaranteed title shot against the fucking B team, and they still can't get a title shot. Either that's WWE saying, we know some of the fans want the Revival, but fuck you. Or they really just don't give a shit about the Revival. It's pretty sad. Pretty fucking sad, man. So McIntyre and Ziggler, of course, inserted themselves into the tag team title match with the B team. I don't believe I had to watch for a couple of minutes the team of Ziggler and McIntyre sell for the B team. This should have been an absolute fucking demolishing match. They should have went in there and steamrolled over these two fucking clowns. New Raw Tag Team Champions Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler win with the Zigzag Claymore combination. I hope that they come up with a name for that because it was fucking beautifully executed. And I believe he hit that on fucking Axel. And why did Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler win the tag team titles? So that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose can win the tag team titles and take them away from Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. So then the Shield will have the Universal, the Intercontinental, and the tag team titles. If you don't think that a complete takeover of Monday Night Raw is coming to push the Roman narrative and initiative even further, then you are horribly mistaken. Horribly mistaken. It's coming, people. There's no reason why Ziggler and McIntyre are the tag team champions. Now, why couldn't you give it to the Revival? Why couldn't you give it to the Revival? Because the Revival, honestly, we all want to see the Revival as tag team champions, but they have no competition outside the B team. So WWE fucked the Revival over. They put the tag team titles in the major program on Monday Night Raw to do two things. One, in hopes of actually bringing some fucking spotlight to the tag team titles because they were dying on any one of those two teams. And I hate to say that about the Revival. Or two, they're getting ready to put the titles on the Shield and have a collective takeover of every single title on Monday Night Raw. I don't believe this show. I don't believe this fucking creative team. I don't believe Vince McMahon. But whose fault is this? The fact that you don't have a tag team division is your fault. The fact that you have to resort to putting the titles on these two guys and put them in the major program with the Shield is your fault. You have no tag team division. And there's no signs of anything being fixed. Ridiculous. Authors of Pain versus Keith Thompson and Jimmy James. Let me get this straight. Because I know a lot of you people are fucking wondering what the fuck's going on here. So, let me get this straight. You take the Authors of Pain from NXT, who will go down as one of the most dominating teams in NXT history. Okay? You following along here? They come up to Monday Night Raw with one of the greatest managers in our generation in Paul Ellering. Paul Ellering fit the AOP like a fucking glove. Like a glove. First night on the job, they ditched Paul Ellering. Why is that? Because they said that chapter that Ellering helped them write is closed. They need to write their own chapter. That's exactly what they said. So here we are on September 3rd. Okay? It is, what's today's date? Yesterday was September 3rd, right? Here we are, September 3rd, 2018. And the Authors of Pain, I'm supposed to forget what they said with Paul Ellering on their debut night on Monday Night Raw. Authors of Pain now coming out with fucking the 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick. Do you understand how fucking retarded, how idiotic, how out of place Drew Maverick. I got Drew McIntyre on my head. Drake Maverick looked standing next to the Authors of Pain wearing Authors of Pain fucking getup and wrestling gear. Now, but that's a better idea instead of having Paul Ellering in a beautiful black suit with a red fucking tie standing next to the Authors of Pain, leading them to championship domination on Monday Night Raw. I don't understand the logic of the people that write this show. You took a manager away from Paul Ellering, and you let them fucking pretty much die for the entire summer. Now you're putting them with Drake Maverick as their manager. What was wrong with Paul Ellering? It's either WWE... There's only two solutions here. There's only two answers to this situation. One, Paul Ellering didn't want to travel with Monday Night Raw. He didn't want to travel with the Authors of Pain, and he didn't want to be on the road. Or 2, WWE wanted to take the Authors of Pain, put them on Raw, and change Triple H's vision for them, and change them for Monday Night Raw, and recreate them in Vince's vision. That's the only reason why they were given Drake Maverick as a manager on Monday Night Raw. And let me tell you, that looks absolutely absurd. But managers don't have a place on WWE television, but here we are with Drake Maverick managing the Authors of Pain. Why aren't the Authors of Pain standing in front of Braun Strowman? Why aren't the Authors of Pain positioned with guys that look like that and guys that size? Why aren't they? Listen, you know I'm right about this. And I mentioned this. I didn't hear anybody else mention Braun Strowman and the Authors of Pain. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler could have done their own thing. They still got Seth Rollins to worry about. But Braun Strowman standing behind the Authors of Pain, and then instead of McIntyre and Ziggler winning the tag team titles and squashing the B team, that could have been the Authors of Pain on Monday Night Raw last night? On what planet do you think that doesn't fit? Now, but here we are, pretty much a reset, squashing nobodies again. They went from Titus Catering to now squashing nobodies. I know what the Authors of Pain can do. We know what the Authors of Pain can do. Why are you going around in circles with these guys? When you got guys that look like that and are that intimidating and can be as brutal as anybody, why aren't they the ones battling the Shield? Why aren't they getting the spotlight? McIntyre has his own spotlight already. Ziggler has his own spotlight already. Instead of giving those guys extra when they already had enough, you could have put the Authors of Pain in that spot and you could have built them up as legit threats to the Shield. You know I'm right. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Authors of Pain squashed these guys with a super collider. Easy win for AOP. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, they go to the back and they offer Ronda Rousey some suck up. The Bellas give props to Rousey and say that she's going to be the greatest women's champion that we've ever seen. And then they offer to train her sometime. Oh my God, man. Jesus Christ. You know, what is it with these fucking backstage segments? Especially with everybody sounds so scripted. They sound so fake. It doesn't even sound genuine. I'm listening to these women speak. That's not how you speak to somebody. That's not how you speak to somebody outside in everyday life. Why do they come off so fucking scripted? There's no genuine feeling about these characters. Everybody sounds robotic. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I smell a turn coming in Australia. I mentioned The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, man. This was absolutely, hands down, no questions asked, the best part of the fucking show. We finally got, after all these years, Shawn Michaels' thoughts on retirement and one more match. This was absolutely fantastic. If there's one thing to go back and watch on this show, it is the fucking Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, man. I would actually pay to watch these two guys go one-on-one instead of The Undertaker and Triple H in Australia. Really. I absolutely would. HBK comes out. My God, I wanted to fucking vomit when he first picked up the microphone, man. He's plugging this, he's plugging that, he's plugging the network, he's plugging the Australian Super Show. That's why he's here. You know, when Shawn Michaels comes out, we don't need him to be a spokesman for the fucking WWE Network. We get that at least 4 times a fucking night with the commercials on this show. Shawn Michaels comes out there, business. I don't want to hear any advertisements. I don't want to hear him fucking selling a shitty movie. I don't want to hear anything out of his mouth but why he's there. Shawn Michaels is in the ring. He goes on to talk about his friendship with Triple H. Michaels says Taker needs to understand that Triple H is still the game and the cerebral assassin. Michaels thinks Triple H has a lot more left in the tank than the Taker does. Michaels goes on and talks about how Triple H is going to beat The Undertaker in Australia, and then the bell tolls. He was surprised to see how many people picked The Undertaker over Triple H, but he says He might agree with a lot of these legends if the streak was still intact. Everybody from Foley, Christian, Steve Austin, all picking The Undertaker. Taker, his entrance was longer than some other shit on this show. I am tired of the entrance. I don't find the entrance special anymore. I don't get excited about the entrance. Undertaker looks fantastic, all dressed up. I'll give him that. He sounded great on the microphone. I'll give him that. This was one of the best Monday Night Raw segments of the entire year. Taker's in the ring, takes the microphone and says, "This just became personal." He brings up the friendship between Triple H and HBK, but The Undertaker, standing in the ring, stops, listens to all the embrace that the crowd is giving him. Taker says that in 20 years of their friendship, he took the best Triple H had and the best Shawn Michaels had and put them both down. Taker says he reached in and took part of their souls, and their egos cannot accept it. Taker says he took the one thing that Michaels can't accept, his career. I've waited since WrestleMania 26. We're heading towards WrestleMania 35 now. To hear these words, to see this confrontation. WrestleMania 25, to this day, is the greatest WWE match of all time. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The greatest, it may be the greatest match of all time, but it's absolutely the greatest WrestleMania match ever. He can't accept it. Shawn Michaels can't accept it. Michaels asks if that's what Taker thinks about this. Someone had to restore faith in the system. Someone had to stand on what he said. Michaels knows everyone else in the business can say what they want and then change it 6 months later. But he has stayed retired because he is a man of honor, a man of integrity, and most importantly, he retired and stayed retired for The Undertaker. You don't know how chilling these words were. I'm actually getting chills now just talking about this shit. I've waited since WrestleMania 26 to see this fucking stare down, and we got it last night on Monday Night Raw. If there was one person, it's not Lesnar. The streak either should have A, stayed 0. Undertaker should have remained undefeated at WrestleMania. After the Hell in a Cell with Triple H with Michaels as a special guest referee, that's when Taker should have retired. There hasn't been one match since that has even come close to that. Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. Or 2, if WWE wanted the streak to be ended, it should have ended at WrestleMania 25. Because there was no match worthy of the streak coming to an end than that one. No better match, I should say, for the streak to come to an end than that one. Absolutely. He stayed retired because of The Undertaker. He says every time, first of all, there was chance of one more match, and he embraced that. It's like every time he walks to an arena, every time he gets interviewed, he's always asked about that very chant. One more match. Taker interrupts him and asks about respect. Shawn goes on about how he's turned down millions of dollars for one more match. Every year, he stayed retired out of respect for The Undertaker. Chance of one more match loudly in the arena. Fans were all over this segment. Shawn turns his back on Taker and looks to leave. Taker asks, and this is where things got really fucking good. He asks, as Shawn Michaels is about to leave the ring, is it about respect or is it fear? He says, if Shawn had ever chosen to come out of retirement, there would have been one person for Shawn to come for, and that was The Undertaker. And there is no truer words than what The Undertaker said there. If there was one man that Shawn Michaels was going to come back for, it would be for The Undertaker. Why? Because The Undertaker retired Shawn Michaels. And The Undertaker almost had the streak broken because of Shawn Michaels. Everybody seems to forget the super kick pedigree combination inside that Hell in a Cell. That was the only other time before Lesnar F5'd The Undertaker at WrestleMania to beat the streak. That was the only other time that I thought the streak was absolutely done for. Unbelievable. Taker knows it. Shawn knows it. The fans know it. Taker says there's one thing Shawn knows. In Melbourne, Australia, that Taker's going to put Shawn's buddy Triple H down again. Absolutely amazing segment. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. couldn't give a single fucking shit. Dana Brooke, I feel sorry for Ember Moon. They're teaming her with fucking Dana Brooke now. I mean, this woman was competing in NXT title matches, come to Monday Night Raw, and now she's teaming with Dana Brooke. I mean, I don't know what the fuck WWE's doing with anybody that comes up from NXT, but my God, if that's not punishment, I don't know what is. Sasha Banks and Bayley win here. Sorry, Miss Ember Moon. I love you, but there's nothing you can do about that. Dana's screaming out, looks at Titus Worldwide. She's got this, she's got this. Dana then misses a move on Sasha in the corner. Sasha takes advantage and rolls her up for the win. After the match, the boss and hug connection, hug and leave. Dana argues with Titus and Cruz at ringside. There is a split coming, and we may need a new inventory taker for Titus Catering. That's all I'm saying. Apollo Crews may leave too, man. Apollo may need an inventory taker and a new executive chef in the weeks to come. I will keep you posted because I'm hearing Apollo Crews' chicken pot pie is absolutely magnificent. Bobby Lashley, here's the other thing I wanted to talk about. My goodness, the WWE fuck this up. My God, did they fuck this up. Bobby Lashley is sitting in the ring with fucking Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh. Shanti. Bobby Lashley is shitty. Sitting in the middle of the ring with fucking two losers. There you go. Bobby Lashley comes back to WWE, feuds with Roman Reigns over the Universal Championship, has a shitty feud with Sami Zayn, and now is back to nothing and sitting in the ring, Indian style, with Jinder fucking Mahal. The worst WWE champion of the modern era. So, Corbin is sending Lashley to the ring for an in-ring meditation with Jinder Mahal because he's angry and dangerous. Now, he's angry and dangerous because Monday Night Raw Creative is a fucking joke. That's why Bobby Lashley's fucking angry and dangerous. Lashley laughs and says that this is the best thing for him. Lashley says he feels too tense sometimes and he's looking forward to meeting Jinder to find his inner peace tonight. You know what my inner peace is? Not watching this fucking show. That's my inner peace. You know what? You want to know what my inner peace is? WWE Network at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. And this week, starting at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. Mae Young Classic and NXT. That's my shanty. We get Bobby Lashley's in the ring. There's a large carpet in the middle. Jinder says he can't help Lashley harness his negative energy. Or he can help Lashley harness his negative energy. I wish I could harness my negative energy, but watching Monday Night Raw, there's nothing but negative energy. Lashley is doing some breathing in and out. And then out of nowhere, not even a fucking week later, the guy quits Monday Night Raw last week and then comes out of nowhere, seemingly comes out of retirement, quote unquote, to attack Bobby Lashley. This is the best you got with Kevin Owens. Instead of WWE playing up the fact and keeping him off TV for a couple of months and having him show up at Evolve or Progress, NXT UK, NXT, they have him quit. Everybody's talking about it. What's Kevin Owens going to do? He's going to come back as Paul Heyman's new client. And that's it. It's over with. People were saying, well, it would be great if he shows up at All In on Saturday night. Clearly, that didn't happen. WWE killed the most interesting storyline from last week and bring Kevin Owens back and starts a feud with Bobby Lashley. If that is not a fucking cock tease, I swear to fucking God, this is the equivalent of swiping right on Tinder to a woman who is a knockout 9 out of 10, right? And you're excited. You're going to meet this fucking smoking hot chick on Tinder. You're going out for a date. You're going out for drinks and dinner. And then you get to the fucking date location. You get to the destination. And she's fucking some 400 slobbering fucking slob. Some fucking whale who's trying to fucking wear a fucking outfit that's fucking 3 times smaller than what she should be wearing. With her fucking fatty tits hanging out. And that's what you get. And then you promptly delete the app and you fucking drug yourself into oblivion, never to want to date ever again. That's exactly what Kevin Owens and WWE did here with Bobby Lashley. That's what they did. This was the biggest waste of everybody's fucking time. This shows you, I cannot even begin to fucking tell you how this is WWE's creative vision. They lack zero creativity. Instead of using Kevin Owens, who wasn't going to be used at all on the show, he wasn't going to be used in a prominent way. Everybody that he could be feuding with is tied up in the main event. Oh, because Bobby Lashley doesn't have anybody to feud with. Yeah, let's bring him back and just fuck everybody's excitement about what happened last week. Garbage. Complete garbage. I don't know what to tell you about the main event. I mean, we seen Braun Strowman and Finn Balor. How many times in the main event on Monday Night Raw? How many times on Monday Night Raw in the main event? There were some... I think they fought earlier this summer. They fought twice in a row. And the first time that they fought was actually very good. I praised it. And here we are, a complete throwaway match. Finn was fed to the Sharks tonight on Monday Night Raw. He gets power slammed by Braun Strowman. After the match, McIntyre and Ziggler join Braun in the ring. They start staring at Balor. They grab Balor, whip him into the corners, throw him into Strowman for another power slam. Fans start getting restless. He's tossed out to the floor. And then all of a sudden we see an ambulance back up in the arena because the Shield was released. The Shield was released from the police station. So they backed the police truck. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins confiscated the police truck. Roman was the one driving. And Ambrose and Rollins jump out of the back. The Shield music hits. And they run to the ring to try and get their hands on Braun's pack. So all of a sudden, Kevin Owens, the Ascension, Drew Gulak was there. The Authors of Pain, Elias, Jinder Mahal, and several other heels come out. The WWE sent out every fucking heel on Monday Night Raw to try and stop the Shield. So not only did they feed the entire roster, but not only did they turn Braun Strowman heel and align him with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, but now they are trying to gather every heel in the WWE together to try and stop the Shield. Yet this is something that you're excited for. This is something that you're anticipating, right? Going into Survivor Series. This was an absolute fucking mess. They beat the Shield down into oblivion. Everybody else was just standing above the Shield as they just been laid to waste on the outside. Rollins, Ambrose, and Ziggler all laying next to each other. And that was it. McIntyre raises their arms. Ziggler, McIntyre, and Strowman raise their arms, looking down, yelling out at the Shield on the floor as Raw goes off the air. This was a complete fucking shit show. Whoever's in charge of this show, who's ever making the decisions, Vince, on this show, complete garbage. This is Vince McMahon's vision of professional wrestling. This is Vince McMahon's vision of Monday Night Raw. If this is Vince's vision of Monday Night Raw, I want absolutely nothing to do with it. And I'm going to voice my displeasure immediately every single week. Guys, I'm sorry for the layout. I didn't have my Monday Night Raw review layout promptly on my laptop. My computer's kind of fucked up right now, so I gotta reorganize everything. But I had to use the OTS logo. Doesn't matter what layout I'm using, you're still getting a Monday Night Raw review. I didn't do it last night because I was just physically exhausted from this show. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So here we are. Monday Night Raw going into SmackDown Live. Hopefully it's a lot better tonight. And then Wednesday is what I'm looking forward to. NXT and the Mae Young Classic. Round 2. Or year 2, rather. The second go-around for the Mae Young Classic. Let's go Toni Storm. She's my pick to win the entire thing. I'm getting out of here, man. Thank you guys so very much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to check out my all-in pay-per-view review, please go check that out. 25,000 views and counting right now on the channel. Go and check it out. I was physically there in the building, a part of history. Go check it out, and I will be back with the remaining content you guys expect this week as always. SmackDown Live, NXT, and then off the script as always. Thank you guys so very much for everything, and I will see you guys hopefully tonight with SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you later.